Alright, what's going on everybody? C-Wing here with another video. Today's video, it was inspired by Sega Lord X. He had a video called 10 Desert Island Games, and I made one, but my editing, I was still unsure about it. So I did like a slideshow thing. I didn't really put much effort into it, but this time especially after the last video, guys, thank you so much for all the support and the kind words. I want to make more of these, so here we go. We're gonna do a redo of the top 10 Desert Island games. It's been hot. I looked at the videos, I got encouragement, so Viola, we're here doing this. So what that is basically you're stranded on a desert island, you can't escape. Wi-Fi and power are magically and abundantly available, food and lodging abundantly available. Don't put too much thought into it. All the games have all the DLC, and all the DLC they will ever have will be included. And also, if it's a live service game or an online game, it will be fully supported as if it were in its prime. So like Call of Duty World War II, full lobbies all the time, you get into matches jet quick, that kind of thing. And also no compilations. Otherwise, I would cheat and put Mortal Kombat. the Metal Gear Solid collection and Mortal Kombat collection would easily go in there, but no, we're not going to do that. It's going to be individual games, and you got to list them. And yeah, those are the qualifiers right there. Those are the rules. Another thing I wanted to do to encapsulate this, because I know an easy answer most people would say is just your top 10 favorite games of all times. Well, I can't do that because A, compilations, and B, it's not as simple as that. This is what I think you need. A variety. You need games with depth. You also need shallow games. Shallow games are very important too because you have no idea how tired you might be. Maybe you're looking for coconuts all day or something. You know, you're looking for a way off the island, which you can't get off of. But you need a shallow game, you know, after work. Especially, there's times where all I want to do is I want to fix a generator in DBD, or I want to drive a taxi in Crazy Taxi. I don't want to be in an epic storyline that, no, shallow's good too. Just remember that. Replayability, that's another huge one. That's probably the most important thing is replayability. You have to be okay with redundant gameplay also. So it's super important. So Call of Duty, DBD, Tetris. You have to be okay with that kind of stuff over and over and over, okay? But it'll work, but you have to be okay with redundant gameplay. Personally, I think not spamming a certain series, I think an easy way out, and I think Sega Lord X touched on this, was you could easily just go, oh, well, I'll just do 10 Final Fantasy games, or 10 RPGs, and then that'll be like hundreds of thousands of hours. I'll never be able to finish them, it'll always be a challenge, but I think you can do better than that. You can put more effort into it. So I try not to add too many games of the same series on the list. You also need cozy. You need a cozy game, especially if it's a cold night on the island. You need a cozy game to make you feel warm and fuzzy. Always challenging. So there's some games that you need that are challenging that you can't beat. So I want to make sure that that's on the list. And also nostalgic. So you want a little piece of home. Pizza home. You want a piece of home away from home while you're on the island. So there you go. Variety, depth, shallow, replayability, being okay with redundant gameplay, not spamming a whole series, cozy, always challenging, and nostalgic. I hope my top 10 list does that I hope my top 10 list conveys that message to you guys. What about your list? What do you want on there, and what qualities do you want your list to convey? Because those are my qualities. What about you guys? So this was an incredibly hard thing to do, actually. I had a really hard time doing this. I went through 3 drafts. I don't know how the hell I did it so easily last time. I don't know how Sega Lord X did it. I went through 3 drafts. I talked to my siblings about it. Nona actually mentioned a game that I had crossed out that I was like, God, that's right. I want to put it back on because there's a lot to do, and even my younger brother agreed on that. So when we get to that game, I'll tell you which one it is. But yeah, it was really hard. I racked my brain for a long time because 10, it's like, can I cheat and do 20? But we know we have to do the Sega Lord X way. He says 10, we do 10. So this isn't in any particular order, but this one might be the most important. There's a reason why. So Call of Duty World War II, not only is it one of the most slept on Call of Duty games ever made, but there's so much to do in this game. I've never seen a Call of Duty with so much content. You can dogfight, you can do prop hunts, you can do zombies, you can do team deathmatch. There's a mode, I forgot what it's called, where you actually do like missions and you build bridges and you destroy tanks as like a multiplayer game. The team deathmatch is excellent. The kill streaks are great. Leprechaun hunt is amazing. I love the hub where it's like the base and you have to defend the base from being attacked. You can play ball. Like there's just so much to do. For me, the bread and butter was always the team deathmatch. That alone was just great. And then grinding for camos, you check check your mailbox. I absolutely love this game. If this game were fully supported nowadays, I would venture to say that I would be a Call of Duty World War II streamer. I mean, that is how much I love Call of Duty World War II. I remember in 2018, I was living on my own. My family was away, and I missed my family, and I was working 2 jobs. And I used to call Call of Duty World War II my 3rd job because I'd come home, I would grind for camos, especially the St. Patrick's Day one. That was absolutely amazing. And there's not much that can beat Call of Duty World War II. That would definitely need to be on my desert island games for sure. The next game on my list would be DBD, Dead by Daylight. Now this game kind of falls under it's a multiplayer, it's like a live service game. When I play as Survivor, it's fun, but it's also very chill. Like I can stream that all day, I can read chat. It's exciting, but it's also very, like I said, very chill, very cozy, believe it or not. I always have a lot of fun. So I don't know, I think this would be cool to play with friends. There are tons of survivors. There's tons of killers. You can mix and match skills. So there's a lot of depth. There's a lot of depth there, or you can just be kind of shallow and play your regular build, fix gens, try to escape. It'll keep you on your toes. Now this one, replayability. There's nothing that screams replayability more than Mortal Kombat 2. I've been playing this game for over 30 years. I love this game. I have a mini countercade of it. When I get a home arcade, I'm gonna get a big arcade machine of it. I mean, there's so much to master. I mean, I do remember a lot of stuff, but there's a lot of stuff that I forgot too, which would keep me on my toes mentally to try to remember how to do fatalities, Shang Tsung's morphs, friendships. There's so many secrets in this game. The Dan Ford music is amazing. You can't go wrong with this. I could play this for the rest of my life, and I probably will, and I would never get sick of it. So Desert Island, bring it on. I got Mortal Kombat 2 with me. This one, I don't think anyone is going to have on their list, but I had to put it on my list because it's so addicting. It's so basic, but it's so incredibly hard, and it's nostalgic. Tetris Attack for the Super Nintendo, the one with Yoshi. The music's great. That game is one of the few games where you play it and you go, okay, one more match, one more match, one more match, one more match. And it gets to the point where you close your eyes and you can still see the puzzle pieces shifting in your head. I don't know if that's happened to any of you guys, but it's not like you're going to beat Tetris Attack. You can put it on endless and just keep playing. It's such a great game. And also, I heard Tetris actually helps with depression. So if you're on the island and you're depressed that you're not going to get off, pop in Tetris. You're not going to be depressed. But yeah, that is a dark horse pick that I don't think anybody else is going to put on their list. For me, I think it checks a lot of boxes, and it would help with my mental health. It would always challenge me, and it's something that you could always go back to, and you know you're not going to beat it, but you're also going to be super challenged. Or you could set it on easy mode and just listen to the cozy music and chill. It's a perfect game. Resident Evil 4, I'm gonna go with the classic, only because of the music, and I'm talking about the Mercenaries music. I could play the Mercenaries all day long, hunk in the village, breaking necks. I could do that all day long. The game itself is fantastic. The music, the graphics, they still hold up extremely well. Even if they didn't even make a remake, Resident Evil 4 is still 10 out of 10. My second favorite game of all time. It's perfect. I love the remake. Don't get me wrong. I love the remake. It's like picking kids, but I'm gonna say the original only because Hunk's music when you're in the village breaking the necks. I call it the neck breaker ballet. It's perfect. So I could play that all day long and not get sick of it. I have been doing that since, 2005? So 21 years? It's old enough to drink now, and I've still been playing it. And also, like I said, the single-player campaign is amazing. I think I play that game once a year, like the classic. It's installed on all my systems. I've bought it for everything that it's come out on, even the iPhone. So that is how much I love Resident Evil 4. Definitely a game I want on the island with me. This one, it took me a while to pop into my head, but I'm like, dude, of course, Valheim. Valheim is a PC game. It's the first PC game I actually fell in love with. You can look at the posters here. I have a little tombstone with my name on it. I've got shirts about it. I love this game. I can't wait for the final DLC to hit on, I think it's September 9th. And I think we're going to get achievements with that, so I'm definitely going to be playing that. But Valheim can be as challenging or as chill as you want it to be. You can build your house. One of my favorite things to do in the entire game is you just mine for ore, and then you smelt it. And just the sound of smelting the items, and then you're cooking food, you're making drinks, you're making potions and stuff. It's so much fun. It's so cool. And then like vanilla Valheim from the very beginning until it's the guy in the village with like the gremlin looking guys. I'm forgetting the names. It's been a couple years since I've played it. Not the DLC. I'm not counting the Mistlands or the Ashlands. Go F yourself, Ashlands. You're a pain, and I hate you, but you would be considered a challenging part. Anywho, but sailing the seas is a lot of fun. Hunting, crafting weapons. One of my favorite things was just swamplands biome. And I was on a boat, and my friend, he had a torch, and we went down to this mine where they had silver, and it's like there's like green flames in there, and the graphics, it's like a combination of like retro but also realistic, so it looks really beautiful, but it also looks very basic, and it's very visually appealing. So there's so many things that you can do in there. It can be as challenging as they come. I can't say enough good things about it. It's one of my favorite games of all time. I think it's in my top 10. One of these days I will release a top 10 list for you guys. I do cheat a lot and I do tie a lot of things, but Valheim is definitely on the list for me. I had a little bit of a problem putting on my list, but the more I thought about it, I was like, no, this belongs because it's nostalgic. I can play it all day. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of secrets. It takes me back to when I was a kid. It's another game my dad and I bonded over. Matter of fact, he gave me his copy of the game, which I still have. But Zelda: A Link to the Past, so good. You gotta have a Zelda game on the list. And I think like most people are going to put Ocarina. You could do Majora's Mask or Wind Waker. I love those games. But I think there's something to be said about having a classic 2D Zelda on there. But like the best 2D Zelda would easily be Link to the Past. I love the graphics. I love the music. I love the hidden weapons. Like not too many people know about the Good Bee. Getting all the jars from the witch and the mushroom and giving that to her. And then the Shadow Realm and stuff like that. You could play that forever and it would be fun. It would remind you of home, so that's another reason why it's going to be on the list for me. Next on the list, Final Fantasy 12. Now I was so torn because at first I was like Metroid Prime, and then I switched to Final Fantasy 7 Remake, and then I went to Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. But I wanted an RPG that kind of felt like an online game, but wasn't an online game. And Final Fantasy 12 is challenging as hell. I mean, I remember I put 120 hours into that, and I still didn't do it. I think my younger brother said you could put 200 hours into Final Fantasy 12 and still not do everything in the game. So to have that on the desert island would be great because it would be challenging. There would be a ton of depth. It would feel like an online game if you don't necessarily want to connect with the world, but feel like you are. That would be perfect. And the music, it's not like a broken record, but the music is really good. The Westerson music, the Easterland music, it's so good. The summons are crazy. Like, yeah, I think you should have an RPG on your list, and for me, by a thread, I'm gonna go with Final Fantasy 12. I was torn between that and Final Fantasy 15, and like I said, Final Fantasy 7 Remake or Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, but I think 12 would be the one to go with. Alright, next on the list, Crazy Taxi 1. There's a lot of different modes. There's I believe it's the Crazy Box mode where you can do all kinds of different things. I think you can do bowling in there, and just picking up the passengers and driving them to different places, especially on the Dreamcast version. You get to drive into like Tower Records and I think the Levi's shop and a couple other things that don't exist anymore, so it's a nice little flashback. And of course you have the classic 90s, early 2000s soundtrack. Great pick up and put down game when you have a long day on the beach or at work in real life. Outside this list, I think it's perfect. And as a matter of fact, they're bringing it back, and they're bringing back the original music. I think it definitely needs to be on your list. But yeah, you definitely need Offspring. The Offspring music, I'm not a ska guy, but there's something about listening to the Offspring while playing Crazy Taxi. It fits, and it fits like a glove. You need it. When Crazy Taxi didn't have the Offspring music, it didn't work. And I think Bad Religion, I think that's the other band that played on there. I'm not quite familiar with that genre of music, but the original Crazy Taxi 1 with the soundtrack and the cool 90s, early 2000 landmarks, it would be a nice little piece of home. The last one I wanted to include was a sandbox game, and I know everyone's gonna go to GTA 5 or go to Red Dead Redemption. I wanted to do something a little bit different. I went with Sleeping Dogs. Sleeping Dogs has a great combat system, great gunplay, great cars, great graphics. It has hip-hop from China. You can do karaoke in the game in English or in Chinese. The story's gripping. There's memeable characters like the pork bun guy. That's such just an easy thing to do. And also I think there's it's kind of like San Andreas, where the gang members like will try to invade your territory, so technically it never really ends if you don't want it to. Alright, so honorable mentions. These ones really pained me. I wanted to figure out a way to put them on the list, but Metroid Prime, of course. I love Scanning Objects. Super Metroid, but then again, that's two games on the same series. OG Resident Evil 1 PS1, of course. I think the biggest one where I was seriously considering putting it on there was Super Mario 35. You know, the Nintendo Switch game. Oh my god. Oh my god. I might have to do just a video on that game, or it's gonna be on like my favorite online games, but that is one of the best online games I've ever played in my freaking life. And it's so basic, but so addicting. Yes. And then Final Fantasy 15, I wanted to put that on there. Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth and Remake. If I could do a top 20 Desert Island games, this list would be absolutely perfect. So with that said, what are your guys' picks? What 10 games are you putting on there? Why are you putting it on there? What are you hoping to accomplish with your list? What boxes are you looking to check? Let me know in the comments, and I'll get back to you later. Have a good one.